สวัสดีครับ นี่ฮาว hello. First of all, I'd like to thank Iatc Taiwan for this special invitation for me to participate in this conference. And as a member of the Iatc's executive committee, I'd like to congratulate Iatc Taiwan who have organized this conference. As we all know, this is a time of unpredictability. And I think it is important for us theater critics to find ways for us to meet somewhere, somehow, so that we can discuss what we think of the future of contemporary theater in the years to come. I've been given a few questions to start off our discussion today, and I will answer them collectively. First of all, the roles of theater criticism in my country, which is Thailand. To answer that question, I'd like to give you a very brief overview of theater criticism in Thailand. First of all, it is noteworthy that while there have been a lot written on contemporary theater in Thailand, very little has been on traditional theater. And it's also worth noting here that the publications who have published the highest number of theater criticisms over the past few decades are, interestingly, English language daily newspapers, namely The Nation and the Bangkok Post. And second to that are business newspapers, lifestyle and arts and culture magazines. And of course, as we all know, even before the COVID-19 disruption, there was already the digital disruptions. So it means that many of us have changed the way we present our theater reviews from print publications to online publications. So before COVID-19, when we still had many print publications, we could still see some theater reviews published in those publications along with the online versions. But nowadays, if we want to read theater reviews, we most of the time have to go online to websites or to Facebook pages or Instagram or even Twitter or even YouTube. So in other words, theater critics in Thailand, and I'm sure that the same way as theater critics all over the world have changed the way we expressed our views on contemporary theater. Since the start of Iatc Thailand national section in 2011, we have been organized our annual awards which have been given to outstanding works and artists in contemporary dance and theater in Thailand. But unfortunately for the past few years, specifically since 2020 going on to 2021, we feel that there's not enough of outstanding works for us to organize this award. So we hope to organize this award to honor the artists who are working in contemporary dance and theater in Thailand next year. Fingers crossed, of course. And it should be noted here also that the Iatc Thailand Annual Awards is the only award given to performing artists in Thailand, as opposed to a number of awards given to films, television, or literature or visual art in Thailand. Since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, medium scale and large scale playhouses in Thailand have been closed, and two significant examples are Muang Thai Ratchadalai Theatre, which is a 1,500 seat proscenium theater, and also the M Theater, which is a 750-seat theater, and both of them have been closed since April 2020, and we do not know when they will open again. But interestingly, the Bangkok Theatre Festival was on as usual in both 2020 and also 2021, even though the number of participating productions and artists as well as the audience had dropped significantly. Another important festival that is still going on is BIPAM, the Bangkok International Performing Arts Meeting, which decided to go online in 2021, but again the number of participating audiences has drastically decreased. I should also mention here that members of Iatc Thailand also served as jury members for Bangkok Theatre Festival, and actually in the past there was a year that the Iatc Thailand took over the jury, but in the past few years only selected members have been invited as part of jury, along with artists and professors, and apart from that, members of Iatc Thailand also serve as advisory committee member and also artistic member of BIPAM. And to respond to the changes brought over by the pandemic, the Ministry of Culture, especially the Office of Contemporary Arts and Culture, have initiated a program to support the contemporary artists to create online performances continuously, I mean since the middle of 2020. But again, the quality and the experience of watching these online performances is not comparable to that on stage, and that explains why the number of audiences for these online performances is very low. So in other words, this initiative is just to support the artists financially, so that they have something to do, so that they can make ends meet. Iatc Thailand collaborated with a new organization called CAPT, or Contemporary Arts and Culture Industry Promotion Trade Association, in the middle of 2021, and CAPT started a new festival, an online festival called Kept Faced, and Iatc Thailand organized a three-part workshop called Arts at Your Fingertips, Online Arts Appreciation. And in the first part is a discussion on Clubhouse, where scholars and artists were invited to share their views on echo chamber and how we view arts like of various disciplines online. And the second part was a talk by senior visual arts, film and theater critics on their views on how we can enjoy watching arts online during the time when we could not go to galleries, museums or concert halls. And then the last part is an online workshop, and members of Iatc Thailand were discussants and facilitators for the public to share their views and opinions on online arts works which were assigned to them beforehand. And I think the idea behind this is that in the time when we spend more and more time online, we have been exposed to many works of art of various disciplines. And in other words, we can switch from watching an online theater to an online concert to an online visit to a museum or gallery, like by like a few seconds. So we should see how these different disciplines and genres of art are interrelated, and find ways for the audience to appreciate all of them, so that whenever we are allowed to go to theater, when we are allowed to go to galleries, when we are allowed to go to concert halls again, we would feel that like we are familiar with them. In conclusion, I think two keywords that we can draw from this pandemic experience are first, hybridity. I think this is a time when we need to discuss how we create theater and how we view theater with the use of the online technology. And of course, they have advantages as well as disadvantages. So we should study like how this online and in-person mode of theater can work together in the present and also into the future. And also the second keyword is transdisciplinary collaboration. In the solution of many pandemic problems, experts from different fields are working together to give solutions to the public. So I think it is important for us who work in the theater as well to think of how we can collaborate with artists from different fields, or even like scientists, so that we can make theater like part of our living again in the near future. I look forward to discussing with you in the next hour, and once again thank you very much for this invitation and your attention. 谢谢。